What's up, family? What's up, family? Hey, happy New Year's. As you know, a lot went on last night. Some tragic things went on in New Orleans last night, and we want to send condolences out to the families of the people that lost their life, and we hope pray for a speedy recovery for the people that actually were injured. That was crazy last night.
Speed. We are covering a mass casualty incident overnight in New Orleans. 10 people at least were killed when a truck drove into a crowd of New Year's Eve revelers in the city's world-famous French Quarter. The incident began around 3:15 a.m. Central Time. A man driving a pickup truck drove through some barricades at a high rate of speed, hitting multiple people. At least 35 were transported to hospitals with injuries. The suspect then got out of his vehicle and shot two officers. They were hit and are in stable condition. Law enforcement sources are now telling CBS that the suspect is deceased. His identity has not been released right now. We are also told that possible explosives were found nearby, and it's unclear if they are related to the attack. The FBI will be taking over the investigation. Now we want to play you some tape of someone who was in a hotel near the scene of the attack, heard the sound as the incident was unfolding. Kellen P. Koo spoke with our New Orleans affiliate, WWL.
Yeah, it's crazy, family, because it really scares you, and it kind of makes you not want to go out anymore. I mean, the fear, of things like this happening. Here's somebody's New Year's. These people, have homes, they have families, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I went to bed last night about 11, and probably 10:30, and because I just find myself not wanting to be in crowds and stuff anymore. Not because I'm paranoid, but just because I'm cautious. And like, whenever you can take a truck and just plow into, it's so many people with just some sick stuff going on right now, man. Man, family. I mean, we don't need to be paranoid, but we do need to be cautious, for things like this. How do you guys feel? I mean, did you stay home? How did it go where you went? I'm sure it was things that happened all over the country. Like yesterday, we had over 1 million people to hit Times Square, and we didn't have an incident. But wow, this thing like this, makes you want to stay in the house, make you kind of want to be stale a little bit. But let's see what they say.
3:15 this morning, and it sounded like a very loud crash. And I heard a lot of ruckus. I didn't realize what was going on until, and it took me a little while to go to sleep. But it felt like the building was shaking. And that's from a block away. I'm on the 400 block of Dauphine, and this happened on the 300 block of Bourbon Street.
Kellen, did you see anyone at this point? What did you see after hearing this boom? Just walk us through what happened next.
I didn't really see anything. I was unaware of what was going on, but it sounded like, it sounded like a very loud crash. And,
Go ahead, sorry.
and I tried to go outside, but I didn't, it's just a lot of people running around, so I just went back in the hotel. I came back up to my room, and then eventually I was able to go off to sleep, and then I woke up to my phone going off, people calling me, asking me if I was okay because they knew I was here.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Katie Weiss, who was near the scene in New Orleans. Katie,
I'm sure if people knew you was there, you probably worry a lot of family members. Like that probably ruined their New Year's. Just knowing that you could possibly be out there and that stuff. Wow. So, and you can just imagine how many people that we actually know. And wow, if 15 people, that's 15 people that's worried. Such and such went to New Orleans. Oh my God, let me check on that. Blah 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 blah. But let's look at some other stories too. There's some more stories out here. Let's see what's going on.
Investigation, but we do know that local law enforcement is playing a huge role in supporting them in this effort and in the investigation.
I know we talk about local law enforcement.
Those streets are so slim too.
Right now on Mandeville Street.
Usually they have barricades
where Winston Reed is right now, and that is where Winston says apparently they were drawn to this location because of a fire at home the suspect potentially was renting as an Airbnb. Winston,
Wow.
What more can you tell us?
Right now, residents who live in this St. Roch neighborhood, they've been forced to evacuate their homes because of that reported fire earlier this morning. The investigation has expanded from Bourbon Street in the French Quarter over here to the St. Roch neighborhood off of Mandeville. And I'm here with Jeff Gonzalez, who's one of those people here this morning who had to evacuate the St. Roch neighborhood. Thank you for joining us. Now, tell me, Jeff.
So not only family that you got all that going on New Year's Eve, you know, think about the people that live in that neighborhood. Now they got to evacuate because they got to do their investigations and stuff like that. So, man, I mean, just starting off New Year's, you know, that can be a super big inconvenience, you know, and just on the morale booster, I try to start off New Year's on something positive note. That's why I really don't go out and drink and stuff. I just don't want nothing to go wrong at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, I just want to try to start the year off right. So I just try to kind of stay out of the way a little more than I need to. Just stay out of the way, you know, as you seen on our post this morning, you know, Walk to Live, you know, on my channel. Of course, you know, you can visit me on Instagram at Unkkeith, spelled the same way, UNCKEIF, and I post on there too. And, you know, I was on the track early this morning just trying to get together and just work on me, man. But stuff like this, it just throw your life, you know, it just puts your life in a different perspective. And like I said, it's not, you know, they'll have everybody scared in a minute. And I'm like, you know, you can't even go nowhere no more. Wow.
Where is the house that you were staying at in accordance to the Airbnb that investigators are surrounding?
I'm in the house right next door.
You're right next door. Okay, can you just walk me through this morning, just play out what happened?
I left the house about 5 o'clock to bring my sister to the airport, and I noticed that the smell in the air was what we thought was fireworks the night before. You could smell it even at 12:30 when we got home, but it was really strong at 5 o'clock in the morning. But I was on my way to the airport and didn't stop. When I got back from the airport at 6 was when the fire trucks were there.
Were you able to get back into the home after you came back from the airport?
I was. At that point, they had contained the fire. There were still hoses going into the house, and one of the residents there said the damage was minimal and no one was hurt. And so I went into the house and talked with my partner about it for a bit, and then we went back to sleep and woken up a couple hours later to a knock on the door saying that the area was being evacuated.
And walk me through that evacuation. What were you told by law enforcement, and where did you have to go after that evacuation?
They explained only that it might be in connection to the events that happened on Bourbon Street last night, and that the Ring camera footage from our place was of great interest to them. So I left with the dog, but my partner is still there in the area of interest with the footage, going over it with the police. And,
So he's over. Your partner is still at the house.
and I left without my phone, so I have had no contact with him.
Contact. Can you tell me, have you seen anything suspicious? You know, neighbors have said that they've seen a white truck in the area prior to that terrorist attack over in the French Quarter. Have you seen a white truck? Have you seen anything suspicious? Have you seen the suspect at all?
No, I haven't. And honestly, I was going to get my sister to the airport, so I wasn't really paying attention to the vehicles that were around the area.
Nothing suspicious over the past 24 or 48 hours?
No, just that smell when we got home, but we attributed it to fireworks.
And that is an Airbnb, so oftentimes there are transient people or people visiting the area who are staying at that house.
Yeah, my boyfriend's parents stayed there at Thanksgiving.
Any idea on the extent of the damage of that home right now? We aren't able to get a clear visual of the house from where we're standing.
What I was told was that it was minimal, and there was a 2-hour gap between when the firemen had said that it was contained to when we were evacuated. So my understanding...
So what I'm thinking, family, before he did everything, unless he had somebody with him, they set the house on fire, probably to get rid of any evidence or something like that. But I wonder, was the house set on fire after the incident? Was it more than one person, and then they just set the house on fire? So maybe the investigators would know that it was more than one person, you know, because was he on a suicide mission? Did he plan not to come back, or was he planning on doing that and then coming back to the Airbnb? Man, was it more than one person? I mean, if he was doing that and then the house caught on fire, you know, maybe he had accomplices with him and they just wanted to kill the evidence. I mean, I guess as they start investigating more, I guess all this will come out. But yeah, so I'm sure for this guy and his partner, You know, they that's a big inconvenience. All that drama happened right next door. Man, that street's probably hot as a firecracker.
That they found something that made them evacuate the neighborhood beyond it just being a regular fire.
Right. So is everybody in your home, and do you know of anybody in your neighborhood?
Okay, so shoot, man, they might have had some explosives or something. They might have been on another mission or something for them to evacuate the neighborhood. Now that he's saying this, man, well, we'll see where it goes and what it's going to end up being, and maybe it was going to be bigger than what happened. You know, which anytime we lose a life, that's major. If it's one life or 100 lives, that's not good at all. But yeah, Happy New Year, family. This is this is the incidents from New Orleans last night. Hey man, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in, man. Hey, just thank you. You know, I'm always thank you, and I thank you for being here because you don't have to be here. Hey, if you have some suggestions for me, shoot me some suggestions and any topics, and I'm gonna be putting this stuff out every day. So yeah, so remember, walk to live, and remember, nobody can love you like you can love yourself. And make sure you give people examples of how you want to be treated. Appreciate you, family. Thank you so much.